I started Arkansas Prep Sports in 2015. Saw a little niche where, there were student athletes in the state of Arkansas that needed to get that promotion to try to get to the next level. In fall of 2017, I had someone by the name of Kevin Miller just reach out to me out of the blue. We instantly hit it off. Kevin had just started his sports media company, BM Sports Report. The BM stands for Big Miller. If people didn't realize that, that's the reason that we call the Big Miller Media Days. This was Kevin's idea. Kevin saw what other states were doing in the high school sports world with media days. It was just an extra opportunity to promote teams, coaches, and players in front of a statewide audience. Kevin and I hit off right off the bat. We spoke on the phone at the beginning in the first few years, a few times a week. Then it was every day. Then sometimes multiple times a day. As a matter of fact, when my phone would ring, my wife would say, "There's your boyfriend calling you." Kevin and I went on multiple road trips. We ate at Popeye's Chicken all the time. I missed those road trips with Kevin when I would look over and he'd be asleep about 30 minutes into the trip and snoring, and missed those greatly. A lot of the ideas that we do in the high school sports world were Kevin's ideas. A lot of people have kind of started to mimic a lot of the things that we do. Kevin was the reason that I was able to meet and work with a lot of people in the high school sports world, such as Nigel Wright from COE Films and Nick Winger and Kyle Sutherland and people at Natural State Sports, amongst lots of other people that I've met. Kevin wanted his sole purpose. He just wanted to promote Arkansas high school sports athletes. We all miss him. He left a huge hole in the high school sports media world that we are all trying to fill. And it takes a lot of us to fill one role by one man. And Kevin wasn't just one man. Kevin had a great family that he left behind. His wife, he has a son and a daughter. We in the high school sports media world started a trust fund for his family. I would invite anyone at any time to drop by any First Community Bank and donate any amount of money, whether that's $1 or $50, to the BM Family Trust. And Kevin's wife hasn't used that money yet, but her goal is to use that money to help send her kids to college. I miss talking to Kevin. We all miss talking to Kevin. If you knew Kevin, he made you feel like you were his best friend. When in reality, he had 20 or 30 best friends across the state. I miss talking to him on a daily basis. Things will happen in the sports world, and I will still almost grab my phone so I can call him and talk to him. He took on my daughter Sophia during her basketball days. He called her his niece. He came to her AAU tournaments. He came to her high school games. He promoted her. He called schools trying to get her college offers. We all miss him greatly. He was a great friend. He was part of the family. And as everything we try to do now, these media days, which were his idea, we do them to honor and in memory of Kevin.
Hey, my name is Nigel Wright with COE Films, and I'm here to talk about my best friend, my brother, Kevin Miller. Uh, for y'all don't know, Kevin and I, we go back a long ways. I've been knowing Kevin for over 30 plus years. We grew up from a small town called West Helena, Arkansas. It's back east. And man, Kevin and I, we used to see each other as kids, even coming all the way on up now, till we're grown-ups. And Kevin and I, we just been just locked in, you know what I mean? We recently had got closer, starting back in 2013, 14, once we migrated up this way. Well, he had migrated up this way. I've been I had a chance to kind of, link with him a little bit more for because I was coaching basketball, AAU basketball, and his son was playing, my son was playing, and I was just letting them know, uh, look, man, Arkansas is one of these places that, we have sports and we have basketball, football, but a lot of this is underrated. It's just flying under the radar. So, Kevin, he was one of them guys had a big heart. When if you knew Kevin, I promise you, you can't say a bad thing about Kev. Kev was always willing to help, willing to do things, willing to cut off your water, so to speak, because he was a water guy, and he knew his stuff with water. So he really was one of those guys that can liven up any room. You know, he could also just be one of them guys that can lift your spirits. If you going through something, you talk to Kevin, I guarantee by the time you get off the phone with him, you won't even be thinking about it. You know what I mean? He was just one of those people. So, just to fast forward, Kevin, Kevin was a diamond, y'all. They said Arkansas has diamonds. Kevin was one of those diamonds. That was the man was a rare diamond. I promise you, you'll never find another like him. You'll never find another like him. Kevin always put people before him. You know, you would never know it because he always was behind the scenes on a lot of things, or you would never know that Kevin had something to do with it. So just to fast forward, it was a time that I can remember very well. It was back in 2020, and Kevin and I we was talking about um, doing an open run, and I was telling him like, man, I don't went to Atlanta, Texas, I don't went to uh, Florida, I don't went to these other states that the exposure was crazy. You know what I mean? That they doing a lot of stuff for the kids to where they getting exposure. And I was telling Kev back then, like, man, it has to be something that we can do to try to help, bridge the gap. And from that point on, and this was during COVID, y'all, we started an open run and we did it at the Deaf and Blind. We invited over 30 players, 30 plus players, and we invited coaches in there, and it was a success. We saw that, hey man, it's we on to something right here. So we did another open run, and it that turned out to be an amazing moment. From there, it sparked the interest. It started sparking things, and from there, we just kind of kept the momentum rolling. Uh, we went from that to just if you saw Kevin, you saw me. We was going to different events, trying to highlight different players. We interacting with different media outlets throughout the state. And shout out to all the media outlets that's out there. Man, y'all do an amazing job helping keeping Kevin memory alive. Shout out to y'all. Um, but we was talking about how could we help bridge the gap. We talking about the matchup showcase. I mean, we was bouncing ideas off each other, trying to put some things in play. I mean, we always was on the phone trying to see where was our next play. What was our next play, and from there, I saw the spark, interest. Kevin had mentioned something about the media day. He was like, man, I saw something, about the media day in a different state. He was like, what you think about that? I said, man, I think that'd be awesome. And from there, it kick started, and we was rolling. The first media day turned out to be a success. It was a success in our own right because of what we wanted it to be. And, linking up with Kyle, Eric Taylor, Chris with Arkansas Pro Sports, and now Natural State Sports, this thing has become bigger and I think it's becoming better every year. Um, I'm looking forward to this media day that's coming up. You have uh, you have over like 70 teams coming in that I feel like this year is going to be it's going to set it's going to set the president for the next years. You know what I mean? So, man, just remember my guy Kev every day is just always bring a smile to my face. You know, just talking with his family and with his wife and kids, it always brings joy to just remember him. You know, and I think this Big Miller Media Days, the Matchup Showcase, the football media days, keeping his name alive. Uh, I think it's something that will always help everyone to remember what Kev is all about. Shout out to all the media guys, the sponsors, everybody that's helped putting this Big Miller Media Day together. Salute.
So I was driving down the road earlier today. I really just started thinking about the past 3 years. And when we got started doing Big Miller Media Days, of course, Media Days started with our group with the idea from Kevin Miller, the guy in honor of whom we do this for. And I think by now, most, or at least a lot of people, know who Kevin Miller was if they didn't before. He was as good of as highly of a promoter of prep athletes in Arkansas, mostly basketball, a little bit of football here and there, but just not only that, but an incredible friend to all of us involved. And to see where it has come from year one, particularly from the first time that Basketball Media Days was ever conducted, which Kevin, as I said, was the pioneer behind and also was a part of before he passed away about 4 months after that. And at that time, we were recording on iPads. We were going live on cell phones. Now, we had already been at First Community Bank, who has been just to say that they've been an incredible partner from the beginning would be the understatement of the year. But we were at First Community Bank, and as I said, just basically kind of getting it out there as we could, whether it be recording stuff and posting on social media or going live. And then the next year, or at least by the next summer, we were doing football media days, gave that a shot for the first time. And Natural State Sports, Will Watkins, Steve Henson, that have been such a huge part in the production, the behind the scenes stuff, and really just everyone coming together, not only to honor Kevin Miller, but also to do what he loved to do and try to do it at the highest level. And that is promote these programs, promote these athletes, promote these coaches. And I think that since we started this in 2024, and look, there's still, we're never satisfied. We want to make sure that we get the entire state. We've got buy-in from the entire state, or at least most of it. We would love to have buy-in from the Northwest corner. That kind of seems like the area that we're lacking because that was Kevin's envision. That was Kevin's vision. And we want the entire state. And we've almost succeeded with that because we don't want it to just be one single area, at least as far as what we do. We have those in the state. Those are phenomenal. But Kevin was all about the entire state. And I think that with the progress that we have made, I know with the progress that we have made, he would just be so incredibly happy. I know he's beaming wherever he is right now, just beaming with pride. And that's ultimately why we all are in this. Again, for the kids, for the coaches, for the programs, but also to make our dear friend Kevin proud and to continue to honor his legacy. So generations and generations to come, long after we're gone, will know his name and know what he did for this state. And the people who continue to promote athletics for many, many years to come also understand how instrumental he was. And really just, again, as I said a second ago, a pioneer for not just media days, but a lot of sports coverage that we didn't have in certain ways around the state. So I'm just so honored to be a part of this. It's not about me. It's not about anybody else involved. It's about us as a group. As so many of these coaches and these players talk about that we host every single year, every single day during this time. When they talk about being a team, that's exactly how we look at it as ourselves. I do things good in some good ways. There's other things I don't do as well. But those things that I don't do as well, somebody else does really well. And so that's really what the goal has been, on top of why we do this and who we do it for, is to make sure that we do work as a team. And I think that, in the big picture, Kevin, like I said a second ago, would be proud of us for what we have built that we would love for him to be a part of, but he is a part of it because his memory is involved in it. And so it's just been such an honor to be a part of this. First Community Bank has been, as I can't say that, and I could probably do an entire segment about how much those people, how great they have been. When you think about the behind the scenes, what people see is interviews. That is what they see on TV. What they don't see is when these players walk in the door and they're greeted with a smile. They're made to feel at home in a state-of-the-art facility. They're offered a smoothie, offered a drink, offered a snack while they are waiting their turn, as opposed to just standing around and nobody acknowledge them, nobody talking to them. That's what we tell everyone. Sometimes people travel 2 and 3 hours to come to this, and they might only be in the building in total for about 20 to 30 minutes with about a 11, 12, 13-minute interview. But for that time, we want to roll out from the time that you pull in that parking lot until the time you pull out to head back to wherever you may be from. That's the goal here, is to make everybody feel at home, to feel like just it's a family type atmosphere. And I know that's one of the many things that Kevin Miller envisioned when he created and had the idea to do these media days. So I'm just so incredibly proud to be a part of this, so incredibly honored. It's just the buy-in that we have had from so many people, from not just the players and the coaches, but the other news media outlets that have helped us do this, and just so many different people that have been involved. So again, so incredibly humbled, so incredibly honored to do this, and how proud it makes me to know that we're making our friend proud for something that he had an incredible vision for, that has turned into a statewide anticipated event. And we're so excited to continue this for many years to come.
Arkansas Select Volleyball Club focuses on personal and athletic development of our student athletes and creates a safe, positive, and effective learning environment in which student athletes strive to achieve individual excellence within a team dynamic. We view the volleyball court as our classroom, transformed to teach lessons of character, discipline, respect, responsibility, accountability, commitment, leadership, work ethic, teamwork, courage, integrity, communication, the importance of sacrifice and sportsmanship, plus many other important values on and off the court. Search Arkansas Select Volleyball online or visit our Facebook page, Arkansas Select Volleyball, to find out more.
And finally, a Central Arkansas success story. A salute to my friends of the Natural State Sports Network.
Few people are enjoying calling high school games more than Steve Henson.
25-20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give him 6. What a play by the Coyote.
So much fun to be able to call the game with that excitement. The parents love it. The fans love it. The kids just absolutely eat it up. We could get him involved more. That kid's, he's got a ton of talent.
Steve and his partner, Will Watkins, who Steve calls the mastermind, did their first game 5 years ago. Fast forward to 2025, 5 schools now have contracts with the Natural Sports Network.
It was one of those things where, when we started doing it, we had no idea what we were doing. So it was like, hey, we'll do it, and if people think it's cool, then great. There's no way you could have gotten me to believe that we'd be where we are today and the impact we've had.
Good decision by the Bears to hold it right there.
Oh! And they take pride in the quality of their broadcasts.
We want to be able to put out something that's not just, anybody can, with the advent of Huddle and everything else, anybody can put a stream out now. But we want something that that the viewer can enjoy, and from commentary to the angles to the cameras.
The Hornets are headed to Bank of the Ozark Arena on Saturday.
They say the guy behind camera, Will Watkins, searches YouTube on how to do games. And he's been the mastermind behind the whole deal. But
It's a quality product.
Yeah, it's a great team over there.
Okay, good stuff, Sully.
Yep.
Thanks very much. We'll be right back.
right, good morning and welcome to day 4 of the Big Miller High School Football Media Days. We appreciate you guys joining us as we get things started here. First off, I want to say thanks to our sponsors that have made this week happen, our friends at Arkansas Select Volleyball, as well as First Community Bank for being such a great host here this week. And I got to say a big thanks to American Pie Pizza for providing lunch for our folks today. So with that, we'll get things started, and we will bring the head coach of Camden Fairview, Jamie Carter, up. All right, Coach, we'll let you get started. Just give an opening statement and introduce who you brought with you today.
First of all, I want to thank y'all for having us today. It's my first time doing this here. It's a pretty neat deal. With me today, I have to my far left, DeColin Hunter. He plays DB for us. This is Carson Hill. He plays left tackle for us. This is Brody Dow. He's our quarterback. And Malachi Jackson, our inside linebacker.
All right, Coach, last year, well, let's just start here. First-year head coach. It seems like this is the year of first-year head coaches.
Right.
You come with quite a bit of history, obviously playing in the NFL as well as at Alabama in college. And just talk about what you hope to bring to Camden Fairview and what you hope to instill there with Camden Fairview.
Well, this process, you always, when you take over a new football team, it's kind of was a calculated process for us getting started this year, from hiring the coaching staff to building that culture that you want to build, your own culture you want to build throughout your program. One of the things that we talk about right now is all about us. It's not about nobody else. It's about us. I had to build my staff basically from the inside out, starting with the O-line coach, the lead line guy, and build it out. So, if you want to be successful in this sport, you got to be good up front on both sides of the ball. So that's kind of what we started with.
Coach, you guys returned one of the top passers in your conference. How easy does that make your transition as the new head coach?
I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's never easy. I think you just got to try to come in and instill what you want to instill, what you want to do offense, defense, and special teams. We had to come in and instill how we wanted to do things, how we want the weight room to look, how we want the offense to look, how we want the defense to look, just how our day-to-day operations process wanted to be looked with the culture we want to build.
To follow up a little bit on that, talk about how that transition has gone forward. And the same thing for the kids as well up here. In terms of what that change has started to look like, post previous staff now bringing you in.
Well, I got hired in February. I was the only one there for a while, so that was kind of tough. You're trying to do things on your own. I got Coach Todd hired. I have 4 guys on my staff that were previous college football coaches. So that was kind of calculated the way I wanted to build this staff. I wanted to have guys that was on this staff that knew how to conduct meetings, that knew how to run a meeting, run how day-to-day operations of a football staff, football team, without me really being really involved in it on a day-to-day basis and letting me control everything on the outside of everything, really in a managerial situation. And it's working out great. I got my offensive coordinator hired in May. Got my O-line coach hired. We was able to go through spring football in the way that we wanted to do it. So to that day, we installed our process in the weight room. And to now, we had an uphill climb, but we crossing over that hill right now.
So same question for you guys here as well. Just what have you guys seen change-wise within the program as we've gone forward through this? What are some of the new stuff?
Personally, I believe it's a culture change. Like when they came in, it was kind of like hard to like transition due to like different things going on within the building and stuff. But once like summer hit, everything started rolling and like it was just good. Everybody getting stronger in the weight room, eating our Wheaties and stuff. But yeah, it was good.
In my opinion, I mean, with them coming in and stuff, it's definitely been a big change to get used to. And it definitely, with the whole staff, it brought a lot more discipline changes. It helped build us stronger together as a team and become what we should be and get to where we need to be in the season and forward.
I'd say it definitely hasn't been an easy change. it's been hard. We've gone through a lot of stuff we haven't gone through in the past. But this team is now getting the discipline and the culture and just the unity that we've needed for some years now, and it's coming back. And since February, we've made the jumps that we've needed to make. We're not all the way there, but we are continuing to fill those gaps to get to where we need to be.
I feel like we 80% of the way. We got a couple more steps to go, not too many. I feel like our new coaching staff is very, very good to us. They discipline us very well. They train us very well. Workout wise, I feel like they got a new workout plan for us, and I feel like we just gonna be a good football team this year.
Brody, this one's for you. Obviously, returning, you had a good year last year at the quarterback's position. You returned one of your top receivers this year as well. Just talk about what that offense has looked like to you so far through the summer as you get ready to get into fall.
Well, last year we were a pretty good offense, which we had a lot of stuff to work on. And this summer, bringing new staffs in, getting quite a bit of returners this year, we're going to be even stronger than we were last year and better for sure. And then just after everybody's got closer together and become more of a cardinal together as a team, we're building that more mortality up together and just going to become really good. And we're going to have I think a really good year. Going to be stronger together and should be where we need to be.
Coach, this one's for you. Philosophically, what does the offensive side of the ball look like for you?
Well, we want to be fast. We want to bank everything on the run game. We want to be multiple in that situation. One thing about coming to Camden, Fairview, you have a lot of great skilled athletes. So we want to think about the athlete, not the player. Get the ball in the athlete's hand, let the athlete face, and make plays. So that's kind of how we're going to look.
Coach, the first one I want to ask about your defense. Of course, you guys were kind of in the middle of the pack last season
Right.
as far as points per game. What's the philosophy look like going to be changing on that end of things?
Well, I'm a 3-4 guy. But I've coached it all: 4 down, 2 down, 2 up, 3 down, 1 up. We've done a lot of things in the secondary. We combo covers. I've been a cover 3 football team. I've been a quarters football team. So that's kind of what we're going through the process and what we're doing now. Primarily 3 down football team, cover 3 football team. We don't know yet. We're going through a lot of process of what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. So we'll try to figure that out in the weeks to come. But we've thrown a lot of things in there just to see, get it on film, and try to correct it and adjust it as we go on through the summer.
Right. And what does a guy like Teddy Thompson do for your defense?
I tell you what, if Teddy plays the way that he should play, and he gives the God-gift talent on the field, when you study film, it's gonna make your game plan you don't have to do your little game plan a little different.
DeKaleb, this one's for you. Obviously, you return as one of the leaders on that defensive side of the ball. Talk about what you've seen a little bit from the defense through the transition, and what you're looking for from that defense this year.
This year, what I want to see different from our defense is discipline. Last year, we had discipline, but I feel like this year our coaching staff has gave us opportunity to be better and give us better discipline. I feel like we're going to be a real good defense this year. We've been conditioning real good and stuff. I feel like our coaching staff has been treating us well. Our defense, I feel like it's going to be 100% this year.
I want to pick your brain a little bit. In what ways has the discipline and the coaching staff made you guys better in the offseason?
I feel like they have made us better by one thing, number one, they care about us. Number two, Coach Carter, he gonna be in your head. He gonna make sure you're all right. That's how I feel.
Staying on that on the defensive side, we'll move down here to the end. Talk about from the linebacker position, just what you feel like as well has changed defensively, and what you guys maybe a message that you can give to the opponents coming up from what that defense is going to bring.
I feel like our scheme now, it allows us to be more athletic. It allows us to make more plays and like use our brains a little bit more. So like, I feel like it just helped everybody out from Teddy to DeCollin to me. It just balanced out the whole team. But yeah.
Carson, this one's for you. Obviously, none of this matters if the trenches don't perform well. Just talk about that offensive line right now, where you feel like you guys are at as a group. Obviously, consistency, continuity is a huge piece. Just talk about some of that from the offensive side.
I think we have the ability to have a really good offensive line. We're kind of still in the process of figuring it out right now, getting the pieces where it needs to be. But we have the players, we have the talent to be the best offensive line in our conference.
Coach, just talking to you now, who are some players outside of the 4 men that you brought today that people are going to be watching out for as far as your team's concerned?
Well, Dayton Brown is probably one of the explosive kids that we have on our football team. You know, we talked about that the last question. You talked about getting the ball to players and let them make plays. You talked about Teddy Thompson. You know, Teddy Thompson on the field as a defensive lineman, he's a very, very explosive kid that can change a game at any moment, in any play. You talk about our running back with Red. You know, you talk about a kid that's a small bowling ball that one player can't bring him down. So we have a real calculated bunch on our football team that we talk about daily about changing our mindset when we goes into football games. So if the mental part is good, we should shock some people this year around the state.
So obviously a little new to you. You come from Marion, but 5A South, it is different this year, like a lot of the conferences with the restructuring. But talk about your thoughts on the conference this year and where you think you guys stack up, and that kind of question for everybody up there.
Well, I'm gonna leave that to y'all. I'm gonna let y'all stack us up with that. I'm not gonna go down that road. We're not. Obviously, we want to win the conference. We want to be competitive in that regard. But we're working on us. You know, we're working on us daily. Just like Carson was talking about with the O-line play. You know, I'm a lineman at heart. I'm a defensive lineman, man. If you can't play well up front, it don't matter what it looks like. You know, and I'm a defensive lineman. So those defensive linemen that I've ever coached, teams I've been a part of, they know it's hard on them. It's hard on them day in and day out. And he knows it's hard on them day in and day out. But I'm not doing that. I'm doing it to make them better, make them understand. If you do not play well as a unit on this team, I mean, it doesn't matter. And that's every football program in the country. So that's where I am with that. And I think we got a good chance. I think we got a good chance. You know, I think tough teams win. We got to work on that regard on our football team, and we talk about that daily. So the discipline part of the team is we talk about production. You know, we talk about production in the building. We talk about production in the classroom. We talk about production when you wake up in the morning. We talk about being on time. All that's about production. We talk about production on the field. You have to produce. If you don't produce, you know, what are we talking about?
Kind of want to piggyback off that. You talk about production, but what do you want your production to look like in the next 5 to 10 years at Camden Fairview?
We want to build a dominant football team. We want to build a dominant football program. You know, right now we're building a weight room at the middle school. We're putting a new weight room at the middle school right now, and that's where it starts at. If we can't get those 6th grade kids to understand and learn how to lift weights, we can't get trickle on to the 7th grade. Once they get to the 9th grade, the guesswork is already gone. We're going to reteach everything anyway. I don't care if you're a senior. We're going to reteach you how to tackle. We're going to reteach you how to catch. That's going to happen. But football teams are built in the weight room. The culture is built through the weight room. So if we don't start there when they're young and try to work that through, what are we doing?
This one's for all the players. You know, you hear Coach talk, and I can feel his intensity. He's not getting loud up there, but I can feel that defensive lineman, that intensity. And you guys have talked about the transitions and how tough it's been making that change, you know, from a former coach to all the new culture, the new setup. Let's lighten it up a little bit. What made you guys fall in love with football and makes you want to get out there every single day for practice? Because I asked this question personally to some extent because I had a 9-year-old in his first year of football last night have his hardest practice of the year, and he was ready to be done. So part of that personal, just talk about what makes you love football and makes you go out there for these these weekday practices with 115 degrees outside.
For me, I played football since I was like in pre-K, so like this is kind of regular for me. I love football. Like this, my dream is to go to the league, and like I'll do whatever it takes, no matter what. If I gotta run through everybody, I will. It's just that's how my mindset is wired, and I feel like they make it easier because it's like you have something to look forward to throughout the season, and like, yeah.
I mean, ever since I could play football, I always threw a football around, do whatever I could with the football. It was something I enjoyed doing. I could do 24 hours out of the day and night. And it just became a love to me because I'm out there with everybody I know, basically all my brothers out there. And when you're out there with them and you're working on yourself every day, building a relationship, and building everything else you can with them, it sinks down into you, and it just, like, you don't want to quit. Because if you quit, then you're letting them down and you're letting yourself down. And that's something that I've never been a part of quitting. But football has definitely been in my heart since I was 8 or 9 probably, ever since I could play Pee-wee. And I'm just going through the process of trying to get better, improve things that need to be improved, and just get where I want to be. And hopefully go to a good college for football and then build on from there.
Playing football, honestly, is more than just a sport. There's not many other kids. There's no other kids waking up at 6 a.m., going to lift, going to run, showing up at 5 o'clock, going to second practices out in the hottest part of the day. There's not a lot of people doing that, and I think it teaches you to be a better man, and really, it helps you out in a lot more aspects than just football. It helps you out with life.
Football is, like Carson said, more than a sport. Football is like my life now, basically. I love football. I love waking up in the morning. I ain't gonna say I love waking up in the morning, but I do love waking up in the morning to go see my family every morning. My brothers on the field, my coaching staff, the people that's gonna help me be a better man in life. Like Coach Carter, he's not just a coach to me. He's more like a leader now. Like he's gonna be somebody that can change my life in the future. So I feel like as long as I'm staying around family and staying around them, I'll be all right in life.
So I kind of want to just talk to the players a little bit more. What does it mean to you guys to play for a coach that not only played for the University of Alabama, but also made it to the NFL? I mean, I know a lot of the players, when they're young and their kids are saying, hey, I want to be a big NFL star. But now that you guys are able to learn from a guy that's been there, what does that mean to you guys as players starting down here working our way back?
I feel like Coach Carter being in the NFL and playing for Bama, I feel like Coach Carter got a lot of connections. I feel like Coach Carter could help me go to a big college one day, or help me talk to more scouts and players and stuff like that, and bigger people to help me change the way I think, or help me do something better on the field. That's how I feel about it.
It makes a lot of things easier because he's been there. All the hard things you've done, he's done it. Probably worse in the league in Alabama. And it honestly just, it's easy to know you've had someone that's been there and you could trust and knows what they're doing, and you don't have to worry about that.
Like Carson said, he's been there. He knows the process. He knows what it takes to get to a big SEC school or any college, and he knows what it takes to get to the league. Him being here helps us start that now and begin somewhere instead of starting nowhere and beginning somewhere bigger, to work our way up to that too, where we can get to our dreams and get to where we want to be in life with football, getting bigger. The discipline, like we talked about earlier, him coming here brings a lot of a lot of extra knowledge from himself to our team.
For me, I believe like it helps us mentally. Like he knows how to mentally help us prepare for the season and stuff, and connections. Like even outside of football, I feel like he knows how to make us better men. As like, cause football ain't gonna always be here, so I feel like he can teach us how it is outside of football as well as on the field.
All right, one last one. This one's for everybody. A little question we've been asking everybody, but favorite pregame meal, and what are you listening to in pregame to get you hyped up and ready to go?
For me, my pregame, it depends. All right, if I'm on the bus, I'm listening to something smooth, probably like some Erykah Badu. Now, right before the game, I'm listening to like Lil Shimmy, a little bit of Drake, a little bit of Kendrick, whatever it is, make me hype in a moment. But yeah.
Pre-game, it just depends, like he said, but favorite listening to is probably, I like First Day Out by T Grizzly. It's just a slow song, but then it upbeats, like getting pumped up for the game. Another song is called Bank Accounts. And then it's just a lot of songs that start off slow, like Young Boy's pretty up there too, which that's probably the most popular answer, but that's up there too because there's a lot of different moods of songs that he has that just gives a different feeling every time.
Favorite pregame meal as a lineman would have to be Woods Place. It's a local restaurant. They load you up. And honestly, before a game, sometimes you have to get that white girl music going. That's how you get you rolling.
Favorite pregame meal? I like to eat Twinkies, burgers, lemonade. Favorite artist I like to listen to? Young Boy. Young Boy, he get my mind right. Who else I like to listen to? I like to listen to a little Drake and now and then. And yeah.
Coach, what about you?
I can't eat for a game. I can't do it. Motivational podcast. I'm listening to motivational stuff before a game.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we appreciate you guys making the trip. Good luck this season, and looking forward to watching the Cardinals play this year.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank y'all.
All right. Up next is Coach Russell Smith and the Helena West Helena Cougars. Coach, I'm going to turn it over to you, let you give your opening statement, introduce who you brought with you today.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Like I said, we're from West Helena Central High School. I have four of my players with me. I have Tevin Calhoun right here, play tight end for me, also defensive end. I have Maurice Pippen right here, also play one of my main athletes. He play quarterback for me, also play slot, and also play defensive back for me. I have Keevan Brown right here, also play running back for me, and also play linebacker. And sometimes we play him on the defensive line. And we have Carl Washington over here, also play offensive line and defensive line for us.
All right, well, Coach, let's just get into it. Talk about a little bit last year and then coming into this year, what your expectations are. A team that returns 18 from last year's team. So kind of talk a little bit about how last year finished up and what you're looking forward to this year.
Last year we had a pretty good season. We actually made it to the first round of the playoffs. Ended up playing a number 1 seed, which was Little Rock Mills, played down at their hometown. Actually had the opportunity to win the game right at the end of in regulation, but came up short. But we had a great season. Like I said, we got a lot of guys that's coming back. I had like 15 seniors coming back, and I had like 20 juniors. And these guys had worked hard, and a lot of these seniors I got, this senior class I got, they also won conference back in the 9th grade, outright conference championship. So they guys here, they stuck together, so they got an opportunity for this senior year to compete for a state championship.
Okay, I'm going to ask the players kind of the same thing. Just talk about how the summer's gone and what you guys each individually have been kind of working on and what you're looking forward to coming into this next season. Start down here on the end, Carl.
The summer been pretty decent. You know, of course, it's hot with the weather coming in and stuff like that, but it's all about perseverance and fighting through. I can say within myself, since I've been playing football, more of an offensive lineman, but this year I'm kind of switching over defensive lineman, working on my moves, my run moves, my pass rush moves, and we will most definitely make a change this year.
I think this year, this summer, it's going good. Leaning more into my running back phase. I play almost everything, like from O-line, D-line. Like it been a transition. So this year, I think I've been working more on my running back and just, yeah. So it's definitely a progress, but I think we're gonna be ready for the season for sure.
Yeah. Like Kivo said, we done had a good summer, and we done lost a few people and gained a few people too. But through the summer, we've been working real hard, getting a whole lot of progress. I'm seeing us progress a lot. So I feel like this season we should handle business for sure.
I feel like this year my first year at DN, so I've been working on trying to be disciplined and trying to squeeze and learn my keys. And I feel like even though we lost our quarterback, KJ, I feel like defense win championships, and I feel like we can win the ring if our defense stay disciplined. Offense is weird because offense put points on the board, but defense win championships. I feel like if we keep our defense strong and we stay disciplined, we can win the ring.
Coach, I kind of want to talk to you, Maurice, specifically. Talk about the transition from slot receiver to quarterback.
Okay, before our quarterback ever lost, I always wanted to try it. Anytime he went out or something, I wanted to go there. So when he left, I knew it was the opportunity. I had already told Coach I wanted to do it. It was something I wanted to do for real. So I was really excited for it to start learning and, lead the team. Everybody know I can think for real. Yeah. So, yeah.
Coach, I'll follow that up with you. Just what's it, from your perspective, having a kid that was as successful as he was in that role as a receiver, come to you and want to be the quarterback and want to be the leader of the team?
Yeah, so go back to his junior high season. Actually, the last game of the season, he actually had to start quarterback for us, playing Warren that night, actually for the conference championship. So he actually started quarterback, and he did a great job for us. So he's very athletic. He's more of a runner. Can do things that what I like to do on offense, but he can pass the ball. Moving him out of pocket. So he's very shifty, and he's a great athlete. Make great decisions, and he know how to make things happen with his feet.
So as you look back at last year and the improvements you need to make this year, offensively, these guys kind of hit on a little bit. You guys were pretty successful offensively, top of the conference in points per game and all those metrics. But defensively, it seemed like that's where you guys really need to try to take some steps. Talk about how that transition's gone and what you guys look like defensively.
Yeah, that's most definitely. Actually, I hired a defensive coordinator, Coach D. Smith out of Clarksdale, Mississippi. He came in and brought in a defensive scheme for us. Like I said, we've been working very hard on our defensive scheme, especially with our D-backs. That's kind of what we were weak at in that area right there. So these guys, we've been going to a whole lot of summer camps and team camps and things like that. And the guys been looking good. So I think we are for the challenge this year.
Coach, just talk about some of the players that may not be with you this morning that may be who you're looking for an impact from this season.
There's several of them. Like I said, we kind of young team, especially on offense. My offensive line is centered around. Matter of fact, he's the only senior on the offensive line, play left guard for me. We'll start out with my whole offensive line is juniors pretty much. My left tackle, Carmelo Belford, actually started as a sophomore. He'll be starting for me this year at left tackle. You have Jeremy Gatlin. Jeremy Gatlin is my starting center. He actually started center last year as a sophomore. Be starting back with us. You got Andre Webb, which started, but actually didn't start. He played behind a senior, Anthony Brown, which is his brother. They graduated, but got significant playing time at that guard spot. So he have a whole lot of experience. And you have Braylon Rogers also play my right tackle spot for me that started. And majority of these guys, like I said, got strong in the weight room. Kevin Brown right here, my running back, bitch, 365 pounds. Tevin Calhoun, like I said, got strong, bench 355 pounds. And Carl Washington over here, my guard, bench 355. So we guys got strong in the weight room. My receiver core, like I said, we lost a couple guys that receive, but we still got some dudes that we can depend on. We got Kendrick Henry, which excellent receiver, fast. He's a junior receiver for. We got MJ Gibson, which actually supposed to came today, but he had some things that he couldn't make it. He's be a senior receiver for. We also got Tevin. Tevin also he played tight end for us too. So of course Maurice. On the defense side of the ball, like you say, we anchor with Kevin Brown. He also played linebacker. He also moving around, play D-line for. We got some young guys that's coming on big for us. We have Frederick Belford. Not Frederick Bedford, Fred Masby played defensive end for us. And also we got some guys that's inside, DJ Roddy, which is a ninth grader. Pretty much for to move him up to senior high, doing a great job for us at nose guard for. And we got a guy named Keyshawn Amos, another guy, he's a 10th grader, played defensive tackle for. We have Trey Martin, also a middle linebacker, he's going to be a senior. Doing a great job for us. And around the secondary here, Eric Shears, got, like say, Kendrick Henry. Those guys right there doing a great job for us in the secondary.
To follow up on that, this one's more for the players, but obviously Coach brings you guys here as leaders. He sees you guys as leaders on the team. So that part of that job is obviously working with what he's talked about a lot of younger guys, a younger team in some key positions. We'll start down here on this end, work our way to the left, but just talk about what your leadership kind of style is and what you hope to be able to kind of pass on to these kids that are coming behind you.
I say telling my teammates stay in the weight room, like don't take no breaks off. Like every day, even if we don't lift, I'm in the weight room. I don't like conditioning as much, but I condition. Trying to get my legs strong, but I'm gonna definitely tell my teammates stay in the weight room.
Okay, me, I think is discipline and consistency. You know, like it's been a whole lot for me getting here, so I just want to show them like no matter what happened, you can get where you're trying to get. It ain't that hard, you know. Just stay to it. Yes, sir.
Me, I think I just show it in my character. I think I was raised that way, like to just be how I am. But my character is like when I'm doing something, I like to actually do it. Like if that's my passion, that's what I feel like doing at the time. I like to actually do it. So when it comes to lifting weights and just doing what I gotta do, I think I'm gonna just conquer it. So I think like seeing me like do it, that's a motivation for sure.
To me, it's all about representation. We're not athlete students, we're student athletes. So it always starts in the classroom. Like I say, for me as myself, I've been doing well academically, so me achieving those things and also translating on the field, people tend to look up to me. I've been at it for, this is my 6th year. So I've been starting ever since the 7th grade playing football. So as years come on, I've become experience a lot more younger people. They've been looking up to me with my character on the field and just being a good teammate. So all I'm about to say is it's all about representation.
All right, so let's have a little bit of fun with it here as we start to finish some things up. But looking at the schedule, obviously you got a tough schedule. That conference is no joke every year. Some pretty good rivalries in there. So just for each of you guys, all the players up there, is there a game that you've kind of got circled, a couple games, thinking to last year that you're ready to get back to this year, maybe get back to?
We come into a new conference. We dropped down from 4A to 3A. So I feel like the toughest team that we're going to go against is probably Fordyce. If our game playing against Fordyce solid, no doubt in my mind we win in the ring.
Yeah, exactly what Tim said. I feel like Fordyce is going to be the hardest team for us to play, but it won't be that hard.
I'm not really sure, like, on what team we could really, like, because every team good at something. And I feel like whatever we lacking in, that's going to be the hardest team. So,
Well, I got 2 teams specifically. The game I'm kind of looking forward to and excitingly is us versus Barton. Shout out Phillips County. We've been, like, side by side by cities for about the past, I don't know how many years, and we never played each other. And so we playing them this year. I feel like this is a good opportunity for the fans to come out. And most definitely us versus Fordyce. You know, they went to state championship recent years. I feel like we got some good, they got some good, and it's going to most definitely be a good showdown.
Just kind of piggybacking off the fun here, what is your favorite pregame meal or maybe night before game meal, and what are you listening to in the locker room or day before to get your mind right to get locked in?
I might go with, she makes you want some Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross. No, I'm just talking. But most definitely, I might play some Joe, Calvin Richardson, some Chris Brown, I'm an R&B guy. And the food, school lunch. You know, school lunch be hitting, you know, so we barely get a chance to eat for real. But this year, most definitely, I'm going to take my grandma Subway sandwiches. Shout out my grandma.
music-wise, I think what hit the spot is 3 6 Mafia. They like boost my mood, but what I like to eat, I like going to Sonic, give me a little smash burger, but that's about it.
I say I'll go YTB Fat. He really get me in that mode ready for a game. It's game time. And for my meal, I really just keep it light. I really snack on something. I don't eat nothing big.
Me, I go Chief Keef Finito. For my pregame snack and meal, I go Lifesavers. And might just go Big Bad from Wendy's. That's it.
Coach, what about you? What's the pregame eats look like? And are you listening to Chief Keef or are you listening to something different?
Well, me personally, like I say, I be in that game mode. Like I say, I really don't just have that appetite like that right before a game, and I just get in that quiet spot and get zoned out and get myself prepared for the game.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. Good luck on your season, and we'll be sure to watch the excitement.
Thank you.
All right, now we're here with the Earl Bulldogs and Coach Coleman. Coach, we'll let you make an opening statement and introduce who you brought with you today.
All right, well, first of all, we'd like to thank y'all for having us to this great event. We love having the media day, being able to show our kids off and show our talent. On to my right, we have Jordan Williams. He'll be playing some receiver and strong safety for us. Here we have Darian Maples. He's going to be playing a little bit of nickel. He's going to be playing some running back for us. And then here we have Datavion Holmes. He's going to be our center.
Coach, just talk about last season a little bit to kind of put a bow on it and recap things. I mean, you guys went about 5-5, so just talk about that and talk about some expectations for this coming season.
All right, well, we had a really good season. I enjoyed coaching these guys. They had to learn a lot. It was a big learning curve. We reintroduced the culture that, Earl is famous and rich for. So bringing that to them, and they accepted that to be able to move forward, that was a big part of that. And that's the reason why on the field, on the gridiron, we went 7-3, 5-5, technicality, irrelevant. But they played great ball. They bought in. They bought in, and that's what we're trying to bring forward to this season, especially with a lot of our returners.
Talk about some of those guys that are returning. Obviously, an offense, as you mentioned a minute ago, Earl trying to bring that dominance back to where it once was. Just talk about on the offensive side of the ball, some of these guys you brought with you, where they're gonna fit in and what that's looking like coming into the year.
Yeah, offensively, Earl has always been productive. So our big names that we have back, obviously you have Dante Bell. He was a great receiver for us. He's a big playmaker. He's gonna be able to get that ball wherever you put it. We have Jordan Williams going to be coming in at receiver, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings out. Darian Maples, he's a big returner for us. Started at running back last season, got some really good yards on the ground, and we're looking forward to seeing him because he's gotten bigger, faster, and stronger in the offseason. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he pounds that rock. And then also on our line, we are extremely blessed. I mean, we have some pretty good guys coming back. Obviously we have Datavion, he's coming back. He's our anchor of the line. He's our center. 4-year starter, so he has that experience, and he's just a dog. So he's gonna bring it to you. Then you also have Xavier Jerry. He's gonna be coming back. He's a really big guy, very physical, extremely mean. Same with Troy Rogers. He was all conference. He's gonna be coming back. And Henderson Pitts is a really good guy for us that's gonna be coming back. He's been getting better in the off season and trying to get himself together. So I'm just excited to see what they can continue to produce because I think last season was just the tip of the iceberg.
Darian, I want to come to you on this one. Just Coach mentioned it, the work you've put in. Talk about that work. Obviously, last year, roughly somewhere around 700 yards rushing last year. What's it going to take? What have you done this summer, coming into this year, to maybe push that up to that 1,000-yard mark and continue to grow on the team?
I've been working hard, getting my body right, because last year I missed a few games because of an injury. And I feel like if I didn't get injured, we could have went further or did better. So I feel like getting my body right, staying, working out, stay hitting the weights just to hit that 1,000 mark and help my team better on the ground.
Jordan, just want to talk to you a little bit. Of course, you were second in state in the 200-meter. How important is it for you to be a multi-sport athlete, and how does it help you as a receiver?
Being a multi-sport athlete helps me a lot because on the track speed is way different from football speed. But I feel like they help each other. Like when I work out for football, it helps me for track. We do track workouts for football, so they help us with our speed. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna win at 200 this year, for sure. But I feel like I got way faster just from track workouts. Like I can tell the difference when I get on the when I get on the field. My speed is way different now, for sure.
So Datavion, I'm gonna come to you because 4-year starter on the offensive line. You don't look like that prototypical offensive lineman that the guys would see. And then I look at some of the numbers over here, and there's like, 360 next to you, 270, 280 on the other side of you. Just talk about being on the offensive line and as well as what that group looks like this year.
It feel good being on the line, and but next year we just gotta come, execute, get better and better. And hey, just see how it go.
You ever feel like you get lost in there, though? I mean, being the guy, the smaller guy out there, but the leader. Obviously, talk about your leadership style on the line as well.
My leadership is good. I lead. Well, it really ain't much I can say because I'm more that quiet leader. Like I can lead, but you're not gonna always hear me lead. You know what I'm saying? But I am talking to them. I'm in their head like, let's do it, you know, let's go, let's get it, let's lock in, let's focus and stuff, you know. But I feel like I do a pretty good job at it.
I think people forget that there's different leadership styles. You don't have to be
True.
loud and boisterous to be a leader. Lead by example. So, Coach, talk about just from that perspective as well, what this group of leaders you brought means to the Aero Bulldogs, and then also just and then talk a little bit about your defense too.
All right, so these guys have been putting in a tremendous amount of work. This summer, it's been we brought that level up. So they've been putting in a whole lot of time in the weight room, a whole lot of time on the field, on their track. I mean, and even just ball IQ and ball knowledge. They've been putting in all types of work, and it's rubbing off on their peers, right? So once you see that you have your leaders coming together and they are putting in extra time, even on their own, then everyone else is starting to buy in, and they're going to continue to do it. So it's being contagious. It's a good effect, and we're seeing the effects of that, you know, and that's a really good job. And as far as the defense is concerned, we hanging our hats on that. This season, it's going to be that. You know, we've spent a lot of time, especially with these two guys. I've spent a lot of time working with them, helping them understand what their roles are as far as working in the secondary and knowing how they can impact the game and just knowing all the different alignments, coverages, and how they can help their teammates and know how to communicate effectively on the field. That's something that they have been able to take pride into understanding. And I think that's a big thing. See, a lot of people just worry about, as far as leading, is just telling others what to do. But a lot of people forget about the part of you have to be listening. Before you can lead, you have to follow. And they're doing an excellent job of understanding what we're trying to put out, and they're giving that to their teammates as well. So I think that's going to make our defense amazing.
I want to kind of talk to you too, as well as you, Coach. How important is the active listening and that leadership? And also wanted to ask, is it more film study that you're doing as far as the coverages are concerned, or is it actual drills on the gridiron that you guys are doing?
All right, so for the most part, we have done a good amount of drills on the gridiron, and we have also combined going up to the old whiteboard, drawing it up, lining it up, and seeing what it looks like. And they've been able to work with each other on different types of drills to help, you know, advance their coverages. But I'll let them talk to y'all about that a little bit more.
We took pride in defense this year. Like, we went over plenty of defensive schemes. We added a lot more. Like, if our offense can't get it rolling, we definitely gonna have our defense rolling. Like, we all buying into, we all listening, understanding where everybody got to be. We got a few sleepers on defense that nobody know about. Like, we got Nick Bell, he can shut down the whole side of the field by himself at corner. Like, we really taking pride in our defense and stopping the ball, getting as much turnovers and 3-and-outs as we can.
Usually, we're known for a 3-3 defense, but now we have a defense. We have multiple defenses we know can shut down any types of wide receivers, any types of plays. We can stop run games because we usually weren't known for stopping the run game. That's where we always lost it. But now I feel like we're getting strong enough, and even though we can't come out the game, we don't have many backups, so it's gonna be tough to play both sides of the ball. But we can't come out the game on defense. You know, we'll have to sit it out on offense before we do defense. But I feel like our defense is way better than last year. From having one defense to multiple defenses that can stop different plays.
Kind of want to talk to you more about that, Jordan. How does that help you understanding a defensive back when you're playing a receiver? I mean, I know it's kind of two different sides of the ball that you're playing, but does it help you understand route concepts more when you're learning the defensive back's coverage schemes and how their eyes work and how their hips are adjusting to different routes? So how is that helping you as a receiver?
Wait, can you say that again?
How is your defensive studying when it comes to film or on the field drills? How is that helping your route combinations as far as that when it comes to playing receiver as well?
I do not know how to answer that. You asked how does it help me as a receiver?
Yes.
Okay. Watching other receivers, it's receiver Marjorie, Dontavius, Demarion White. I watched some film on them. They have speed out of this world. You know, Dontavius is the one that beat me in the 200. His routes and the way he run his routes are incredible. Like, he's a good person to take film off. Then his brother Demarion, he's such a fast and shifty guy. I don't know. He's a good receiver to watch for anybody. Any small receiver, he's a good receiver to watch.
And so as we look at the schedule, obviously we won't get into things that happened last year, but obviously you guys look towards this year. Are there a game, and it's more for the players, is there a game out there that you guys are looking forward to and ready to play more than the others?
EPC.
I'm gonna say March. Every game, but definitely March.
All right, so kind of talking about some pregame stuff now. What is your favorite pregame meal, and what are you listening to in the locker room or probably on the way to school to get your mind right? We're going to go to the players first, and Coach will come to you.
My favorite pregame meal is tacos. My favorite music to listen to is whatever they throw on. You know, they don't really give me a choice. They just throw on music.
My favorite pregame meal is probably some snacks. Like I'd take some Skittles, a bag of chips, and like a Gatorade. And I control the aux most of the time, so the music it's probably something like Young Boy, Johnny Slime, or something like that.
My favorite pregame meal, it'll be like a burger and some fries. A big burger, actually, because I be hungry before the game. So, and some good music, probably some good old rap or R&B, you know, anything that keep the vibe going, you know. Yeah.
I'm a real simple guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go to Big Gary, and I'm going to get me some ribs, a little banana pudding. That's my go-to this past season, and I enjoyed that every pregame. And then as far as my music, it depends on what I'm feeling. So might have a little bit of Bun B, might be a little bit of Bing Bong, might be, you know, here and there. It's a little bit of everything, honestly.
Well, Coach, guys, thank you so much for coming out. Good luck this season.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you.
righty, we're back here with the Pine Bluff Zebras. Coach Michael Williams will let you make an opening statement and introduce who you brought with you today.
Okay, so we so excited to be here. This is a big event for us. I kind of remember 4 years ago when I first got to Pine Bluff, Big Mike hit me up on Twitter because I was doing so much recruiting stuff on there, and he was like, he wanted to be a part of it. And so I really appreciate him because one thing that he always did, he thought about the kids, and that's amazing for us. And so who I brought with me is Janavion Willis. He's an outside linebacker for us. I brought a starting quarterback. He's a junior this year. He started as a sophomore last year, Jamar Morrow. I brought Antoine Miller. He's a senior this year, and DeAndre Trotter. I'm going to let these guys get an opportunity to introduce themselves as the position they play. So let's do that right quick.
My name is Janavion Willis, Clownfish Willis. Class 27, outside linebacker.
Jamar Morrow, starting quarterback.
Antoine Miller, class 27, DN, and a little bit of H-back.
DeAndre Trotter, starting corner and safety.
I kind of want to ask you, Coach, first things first about your weightlifting program, because these guys walked in here and I looked at three of them like, are you guys even eligible to play in high school? So I just want to hear your thoughts about that and maybe talk to the players about it as well.
Yeah, so for the past 3 weeks since we've been back from break, our main focus is physical and mental conditioning. That's one of the 6 principles that we live by. And so with that physical and mental conditioning, we've been hitting the weight room extremely hard and conditioning extremely hard. And so these guys are yoked up a little bit. We're still trying to get a little bit stronger than we are, but, you know, these guys are yoked up a little bit.
I have to get you to email me that weightlifting program.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm looking at him specifically.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. You know, and we definitely in there hard, and we're going to be in there hard all throughout the season. We lift weights throughout the season, even after the games. We come in on Sundays and lift.
All right, talking to the players now, starting on the left, working our way to the right. You guys didn't have the season you wanted, finishing at 3-7. Talk about that, kind of recapping that from a player standpoint, and how the offseason's been for you as you get ready for this upcoming season.
We just been working every single day, building the bond and the connection. Yeah, that's basically it.
I mean, that wasn't the season we wanted, but our main focus is to regroup and finish that mission at class of 2014.
Well, as my perspective, only playing one game that season and watching my peers playing every game that they played, I watched. And I showed what the mistakes they could do to get better. But not as a I, but as a we choose to get better and have chose to get better each and every day we practice as a team.
We still got a little work to do. We still trying to get to where we trying to get.
So this is going to all the players as well. So Coach Williams, he's one of my favorite people around. So just like to hear from you guys, right? You know, we know about football, but talk about Coach Williams, just not only how he has you guys prepared on the football field, but prepared off the field and in the classroom, and just being a better person and preparing yourselves for life. If you don't mind, just start down here on the end.
Well, he's been in my life since I was in 8th grade. So Coach Will, he's a great impact on us. He keep us motivated mentally, physically, and he make sure our grades good. If our grades not good, place will be hot. It very much hot.
I mean, he motivated us a lot. And he also, like, every Friday, it's mandatory you wear a tie. It's mandatory.
So Coach Will actually been like a father to me, because ever since 8th grade, he always, Miller, hate to see Coach Will mad, love to see him proud though, love to see him back and everything. Without Coach Will, things wouldn't be organized, to be honest. But when Coach Will is here, we always make sure everything is okay.
No, glad to have Coach Will back. He pushed us hard. Been with him since 8th, 9th grade. He been pushing us, wanting us to work hard. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Mark, I want to talk to you a little bit specifically. Of course, you threw over 1,000 yards last season.
Yes, sir.
You guys were on the bottom half of the side as far as scoring goes. So what's kind of been the offseason plan looking like to get the ball into the end zone more?
Slowing down, and we want to run as many plays as we can per game. Our goal is like at least 80 plays a game.
Coach, just talking about you, just talk about the 5A South and how competitive that conference is for you guys.
Well, getting into a new conference, I mean, it's crazy because I'm friends with a lot of the coaches that's already there. We made a big-time playoff run. We won the conference championship a couple of years ago, and we ended up facing Lakeside and Coach Rockwell. And, I thought they had a great team that year. We ended up getting a chance to win that game, but I already know he's trying to get his get back. And then me and Coach Burnett, we really good friends as well. We talked, we hit it off when I first got back to Pine Bluff, and we hit it off big time. I'm not familiar with the Queen and Magnolia yet, but I'm sure we'll get familiar with them. And then, of course, Coach Mitchell at Whitehall, he's always been like a big brother to me. So we already, we used to each other. So, and then I know Texarkana always has a boatload of athletes. When I played back in 2000, 2000, they had this kid named Willie Whitmore. I'll never forget him. If you don't know him, go look him up. This kid was probably the most talented kid in the state of Arkansas that year. And so I know what these teams bring in the 5A South, and so we're really ready for that.
Coach, if you don't mind, take a little bit, talk about, tell us about the guys on offense that, the ones you didn't bring here, that we're going to hear their names a lot on Friday nights, and the guys on defense that are also going to contribute. Okay, so let me start off offensively with my offensive line. Just in total team altogether, last year we had a really young team. I'm glad that the fans and the community didn't give up on them. We started 12 sophomores and 1 freshman. And so one of the main staples of our offense is the offensive line. And there was that freshman on the offensive line, Furbia Allen. He started the year off a little rocky because he was a freshman. But he actually ended the year, and he's coming to the year within his own. And then we have, of course, Jamar Morrow throwing to a lot of sophomore receivers. We had 4 starting receivers. All of them were sophomores last year. And those guys right there, I think, has grown up a lot. Kirkland and Dunn and Cole Clager, they definitely is going to be explosive on offense. The thing is, what I'm looking to see the most is, even though I know they've grown a lot, but I'm looking for growth in the mindset, not necessarily growth in the talent. The talent, it was already there. It's just the mindset growth. If you drop a ball, you have to be able to keep on going. If the game don't start off the right way, you have to keep on staying consistent. So offensively, that's what we're looking like.
Coach, of course, we don't have to get into the specifics if you don't want to, but you guys have faced a little bit of adversity. Mm-hmm. Some of your players have briefly mentioned it today. Yes. So just talk about how your team has kind of rallied around you as a coach and how you guys have gotten over that adversity.
So we have had a little adversity, and we won't get into it, but, Chris, I don't know why he did that, because he tried to make me cry when my players were sitting here talking, because we have been through a lot. I am like Dad. They are like my sons. We are a family. It's more than football to me. If it was just football, then I would go back and coach for Duncanville, which I was in Texas. That's football. This right here is life. And these kids right here, I know they miss me, and I miss them too. It was hard, watching them go through the rest of the season without me. But now that I'm back, they don't have to worry about that again. And we're going to make sure we finish it out the right way.
Just kind of piggybacking off that real quick, how do you find it difficult to turn the coaching side of you off and turn kind of the mentor and father figure side on, or is there any issue correlating the two? How does that go for you?
Well, it's easy for me because this is the thing. My kids know I love them, but they also know it's a business. I explain it to them all the time. Me being the person to take the shirt off the back is different from me being the person that this is a business. I have, like I tell them all the time, if I have a senior and a sophomore, or a senior and a freshman, and you guys are playing at about the same level, we're going to play that freshman. Not to say I don't love you, but it's just the fact that business is business. Now, as far as we concern our personal relationship, they know I'll do anything for them. I pick them up, I drop them off, I feed them, I do everything I can for them. But they also have to know that that's real life. In real life, it's going to be business, and business has to be business. and they have to learn these tough lessons with me. So when they go out in the real world, they don't have to worry about those tough lessons anymore.
Right, kind of talking to the players, starting down here, working our way to the left. When you look at the schedule, what's one game that you've got circled on your calendar that you're ready to play? Either it's a team you lost to last season that was a close game, or it's just a personal rivalry in your head. Starting down here, working to the left.
Camden Fairview.
Rival game, Watson Chapel.
Camden Fairview.
Camden Fairview.
So, Coach, before we get into one fun thing, I do want to ask one more quick question. Your hoodie says "By His Stripes," and it's got the zebra stuff, and it's got the verse on that. So, what does kind of that stuff mean to you?
So this right here is a shirt that we made a while ago. It's Isaiah 53:5, and it talks about by His stripes we are healed. That's when Jesus went up on the cross and He died for our sins, and His wounds healed the world. And so it's just a play off of words because the zebras are the stripes, and so we put those two together. But what we do is we live by the code of faith. We have 6 life skills like I told you about. Faith is the first life skill that we talk about. And you have to believe in something. We don't push Jesus or anybody on anybody. But that's just what I believe in. But I also tell my kids they have to have faith in something or somebody, because it's going to be times where they get hard, you got to pull on something. And that's what they do.
Well, we've tugged at the heartstrings. We talked about football. Talking to the players now. What is your favorite pregame meal, and what do you like listening to before a game? Yeah, start with you.
I'm going to say whatever my mama cook. And
That's a good answer.
I say Janae Aiko.
Okay, so my favorite pregame meal gotta be a sandwich and some Doritos. And I listen to a lot of music, but mainly Rod Wave before the games.
I'm like a little country boy, so I really like smothered potatoes and some smothered chicken. And my favorite that I listen to is like Young Boy or any type of Gunna before game.
My favorite meal for the game, probably eat some pizza, and I listen to probably Young Boy before the games.
Coach, what about you? What are you eating before the game, maybe the night before the game, and what are you listening to?
Well, before the game, I don't eat anything. It's hard for me to eat anything. My stomach be so, and it ain't because of the game. It's just because I be moving around so much trying to get things together. So I don't really eat a big pregame meal. But as far as something probably that night, we probably do Red Lobster. Me and my wife, we'll do a Red Lobster. We kind of like Red Lobster. Then songs-wise, now, I got my genre is so big. I just whatever comes on the radio, I'm singing it.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. God bless you and the rest of your season, and thank you so much for coming.
Okay, and so one more thing, I do have to give flowers to Chris, Kyle, Nick, Will, Steve, all you guys, man. I really, 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 really appreciate you guys. You guys stood up, you stood in the gap, and you guys have supported me, so I appreciate that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Talking point.
All right, back now with Bald Knob, Coach Barnhill in his first season as the head guy for the Bulldogs. Coach, we'll let you make an opening statement and introduce who you brought with you today.
Yeah, thank you guys. First of all, I just want to thank you guys for having us and Natural State Sports. I don't think there's anybody in the state that does a better job promoting schools and promoting programs and promoting student athletes like you guys and Kyle and Nick, and just a phenomenal job there. And I want to also thank First Community Bank for hosting this. They're a big part in our community, so they play an important role in our town as well. So thank them as well. I'm going to start right to left. Have over here on my right side, Sefton Palomares. He's going to be our quarterback this upcoming year, this upcoming season. He can also play defense. If we need him to, probably some special packages here or there. But he's our senior quarterback. And then I have Isaiah Watson, and he's going to be our right tackle, one of our offensive line for us. And offensive linemen, they're kind of special to me. I've had some good ones over the years, and so he's going to be a good one for us, for the Bulldogs. Then right here to my left, I have Keegan Smith. Keegan Smith is a all-conference returning running back. He rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, and we're excited about him and what he's going to be able to do. And then on my far left, I have Peyton King. He's a senior defensive lineman for us. Really proud of him and his progression throughout offseason, and since since I got there, come a really long way. One of the leaders in our weight room and on our football team.
Coach, just talk about the transition to Bald Knob. I mean, you're at Maumelle, then you go to Pulaski Academy. Now you're the head coach at Bald Knob. So talk about that transition and how you've been able to settle in. Yeah, well, first of all, I've been really blessed. I've been underneath some amazing head coaches. You look back to whenever I first started this thing, I was underneath Mark Uhern, he was under Don Campbell. And then I was under Jed Davis. Whenever Jed Davis got to Marion, I was fortunate to coach underneath him. Kirk Horton at Maumelle, and then obviously Anthony Lucas at PA. And just the assistant coaches and the ADs that I've been under, Jason White at PA. That's kind of prepared me for where I'm at today. And it's just kind of God's plan that I'm up here and I'm with these guys, and I'm at Bald Knob with them. And we've got a great community. Hardworking community, blue-collar community, and it kind of bleeds into these kids. They're blue-collar, they're hardworking, and just the transition's been great. I was fortunate that I got to get started in January, kind of start working with these guys, and probably one of the most important things that I did whenever I first got there was starting to develop a relationship with them. I started pulling them out of the classroom. I probably made some of their teachers upset that I was pulling them out of math and English and a few other classes. But we just sat down, we started having conversations about, what was important to them and why did they love football and what did they want to get out of this season. And we just started having conversations and tried to start developing relationships. And one of the things about one of these guys up here, Peyton King, I was asking him, I was like, man, what do you want to get out of this football season? He's like, Coach, I just want to win a football game. And that kind of took me back. I was like, man, I want you to win all the football games. And we've got guys that haven't played in a few years and haven't played in a year, and we've got a young group of sophomores that they're going to be stepping on and playing varsity football, high school football for the first time. And so we're excited about all of these guys. They're coming back, and they're excited. Our community's excited. School's excited. So it's an exciting time for our community.
Coach, how you doing, man?
Great. Steve, thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. Hey, so I want to build on that a little bit because I think you come from some unique situations in terms of your time at Maumelle, obviously the time at PA. You take over a team, you take over this team, and it's a team that's struggled over the last few years, obviously. My question is, as you look at the landscape of high school football and how kids are moving around and all this, that, and the other, and some of the stuff that people used to say about PA, and when realistically, when you look at how PA was built. It was built from that third grade going all the way up through into high school. So what is your structure for building that program and what you're going to be able to instill coming into Bald Knob and building it from that grassroots kind of standard up to high school?
Right. So, kind of the first part of your question is coming to a program that's kind of struggled over the past few years. I've been in that fire. I've been there before. Jed Davis's first year at Marion, we were 2-8, and then that season, that first year with him, we were 1-10, and then the following year we came back and we finished I think 6-5 and lost to Greenwood in the playoffs, beat Lake Hamilton in the playoffs that year, and got that program turned around. And then my first year at Maumelle, the season before, they were 1-9. Didn't make the playoffs coming off of a tough season. We finished 5-5 that year and beat the 2 best teams in the conference. So understanding what programs need and developing a culture and a standard within a program, I've kind of been there. Fortunate to have been through some of those journeys with some exceptional coaches. And then going on to your next question about establishing culture from the bottom up, from your lower levels. One thing I loved about being at Pulaski Academy was we got to coach our 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. It was 7th grade on up. Whenever I first got there, I was the head 7th grade coach and then coaching varsity offensive line, and we did everything. And this is kind of a similar situation with a smaller school like this, and a community like this. Is we get our hands in all of it. We get to coach them. Really, we have our 6th graders in with our 7th graders, so we get to coach our 6th, 7th on up through high school. And I think whenever you're speaking the same language and the same verbiage, and they're around you 24/7, and you get to develop those relationships early on, man, those guys that I had at PA, we were together for 5 years, and by the time they got, and I coached them hard. Like I coached them hard in 7th grade, 8th grade, and then once they got up to high school, it was like having 5 extra coaches on the field on the offensive line. So that's the plan. That's where we want to get to, starting with our 7th grade, 8th grade, junior high, and eventually get to where we're in a very similar situation. So it's all about having systems in place and schemes in place, and these kids trusting their scheme and trusting their systems.
Kind of want to talk to the players a little bit, starting down here, going to the right. Talk about the transition when Coach Barnhill took over as your head coach. I mean, I know he talked about pulling you guys out of classroom, but what did those conversations mean to each one of you guys as players?
I think he just really got like a deeper connection with us, really showing that he believed in our community and just all of our players in general. I think that's what Coach Barnhill does a great job of really doing, is establishing that if you believe in what you do, and if you believe in your coach, you believe in what you do, he believes in us, we all believe in each other, we can really do great things.
Yeah, so Beat Hill is a great at making relationships, and having that relationship already, which took me a couple years maybe to get where I am with Beat Hill versus where I am with other coaches. It just puts a lot more confidence in me and the scheme that we have going into this next coming season.
The first 3 days that he was here, I got pulled out of class every single day. That really showed me.
He didn't mind that either, I promise you.
That really showed me that he wants it as bad as I do, and I want to see us get more than 5 wins, but I also want to see us make it to the playoffs and make a playoff run.
It took me a while to have a connection with my other coaches, and when Barnhill took over and he was pulling us out of classes and asking us all these questions about how we want the season to go, it made me look at that he wants it more than what I've ever felt. He's wanting to support us, and he's wanting to make sure that we do all great things across the board.
Coach, of course, you're taking over after being in the 7A last year with PA. Talk about some of the players that you didn't bring with you that are going to be playmakers on your offense and your defense, and just talk about how you're going to retool this team and this community after having the season that they did last year.
Right. So one of the things, whenever I first got here, I started looking around, and I was like, man, we've got some big offensive linemen. And really one of the first groups that I saw was our 7th and 8th graders. And I was like, are these high school kids? We got big kids in our junior high program. So that was exciting to see. But we've got a very talented offensive line, and they're learning. It's one of those things where they're trying to learn and trying to figure things out. And, but we're big up front. I think our smallest guy is 5'11", and then everyone else is 6'2" or taller. We've got a left tackle, Jeffrey Comer, who's going to be and all these guys, they play multiple sports. Everybody plays football, basketball, baseball. It's 2 or 3 sports that they all play, or they run track. So they can't just be really football players in our community. They got to do a little bit of everything. So Beckett Altham, he's a football, basketball, baseball guy. He's 6'1", about 235. Our center, he's kind of big and thick. He's 5'11", about 250 or so. Gabe Warden, our right guard, Ryder Stevenson, he's 6'2". He's long and athletic and can run and play. And then Isaiah finishes those guys off. We've got some talented skill guys as well. Bannon Kersey, he's came on for us throughout the spring and throughout the summer, and he started making some plays there towards the end of the first half of the summer. Caden Grimm, he hadn't played in a couple of years. He's a basketball guy that I pulled into football. That he's probably one of the smartest guys on the offense. He just gets it. He kind of reminds me of some kids I've had in the past that they just understand where they need to be at. And they understand the scheme or the concept and little adjustments off of it. But he's going to have a great year. Rylan Smith, he's going to be our tight end, kind of hybrid guy that's going to really make our offense go. Steve, you probably remember Houston Moats that we had back at Maumelle. Very similar to that type of kid who he can do a little bit of everything. So we're excited about him. And I got a couple little quick guys that can run and play out in space. Cole Dillard was a good one for us. He had a good junior high year. And Ian Payroll, he's going to play a little bit of receiver as well. But also he's our backup quarterback. And Walt Odom, he's going to play a little bit. We just got a great receiving core, and we got a good group of guys that I really like. And the good thing about where we're at, we've got 32 guys on our football team, but none of these guys really have to play both ways. They can, and they'll need to in certain situations and certain scenarios and everything. But we're really fortunate that with the 32 guys that we got, that we can two platoon. I don't know if that's just offense, or if you need me to talk a little bit about defense too.
You do both, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, on the defensive side, we came off of team camp yesterday. Man, we're excited about that. We improved from our first team camp to our second team camp. Our defense is looking much better. Our defensive line's moving good. They're coming off the ball. Peyton King, Wyatt Downs, Aaron Leggett, those guys are kind of going to anchor us. Ruger Boyce, they're going to be in a rotation. And I've got 4 linebackers I'm excited about with Carson Burns. He's about 5'8", 5'9", but that kid can absolutely run. And I think whenever you got speed at the second level with your linebackers, you can do a lot of really good things. And especially in our defense, we're going to base out of a 3-4, but we're going to be multiple. We're going to be able to get down into a 4 front and kind of stem our fronts, kind of like what we did at Pulaski Academy. And we've got a young back end, but those guys are athletic and they can play, and they're just getting more confidence as we go throughout the summer.
Isaiah, this one's for you. I want to go back to the offensive line because you're playing for a coach that you've probably felt it at this point, but loves the offensive line, and the trenches matter so much. Talk about that position group and where you think you guys have gotten to, and talk about learning under Coach Barnhill.
A lot better than where we started. Just whenever he came here and we started doing morning practices at the end of January, I believe, and beginning of February, he taught us a lot of things, including new pass pro, new run game, different schemes, where to block. It's our run and pass, and just the all line in general has gotten so much better over the course of 6 months.
I'm going to talk to the players, start down here, work our way to the left, and Coach, we'll ask you the same question. What's your favorite pregame meal, and what are you listening to pregame to get your mind right?
I like to eat heavy. I like to chew on some spearmint gum. And then when I'm listening to, I'm more of a country type of dude, so I can listen to country. But when we're getting pumped up for the game, it's more like Lil Baby and Young Boy for me.
So My meal before game day, I usually like to have a nice juicy steak. Come game time, we have a local Mexican restaurant, and I like to eat that to get a little bit of the nerves out before the game.
The night before the game, I like to eat pretty much anything except vegetables. Game day, I typically stick with Subway or El Palenque, which is the Mexican restaurant. And then right before the game, I take a couple gumdrops, get my sugar up. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't try to eat a lot for the game because I don't like to throw up. When I was in Pee Wee, I used to throw up for every game. You guys saw my friends and everything. It was bad, but you know, my friends, we like to hang out with each other. Like Keegan said, we'll go to the Mexican restaurant a little bit for the game, get the nerves out, and listen to the stuff. I kind of listen to whatever, you know. We're a bunch of cowboys up in Bald Knob. We just like to listen to our country music, so listen to country music like, I don't know, whatever, Jason Aldean or something.
Now, Coach, I know you're a pretty built guy, but outside the grilled chicken breast, what do you like to eat the night before a game, and what are you listening to?
Well, the night before a game, we're usually a junior high game, so I don't know if I get to eat anything that night. And then before a game, I'm so busy setting up equipment and cameras and sideline. You get so busy and caught up, you just try to find, it's probably a protein bar and a Monster Energy drink.
What are you listening to before the game, or maybe the night before leading up to it?
Man. Well, obviously, it's whatever's out there on the field during setup. It's probably a little bit of mix of everything. Night before, I don't know. I listen to everything. Yeah.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming out.
You need to ask him before we get out of here. You ask him one question. Ask him, what is Coach Barnhill's number one rule during football season?
All right, well, what's Coach Barnhill's number one rule during football season?
Effort.
No girlfriends.
Oh, yeah, no
girlfriends.
No girlfriends. No girlfriends.
No girlfriends during football season. I've got my quarterback.
For 100%.
I've got my quarterback taken care of. I've got a few more up here. I was hoping this one he'd lose his, but
we're trying on it.
Not gonna happen.
We're gonna get there.
He got hit in the eye earlier this year during a baseball game, and he had to go in and had some plastic surgery and everything. And I was like, well, maybe his girlfriend would break up with him, but she stuck with him and everything. But no, I kind of mess with him about girlfriends and everything, but it's all fun.
Achy breaky heartbreaker, Coach Barnhill. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out. Good luck this season.
Thank you, sir, for having us.
All right, next up, we've got Coach Gillerin and the Southside Southerners. Coach, I'll turn it over to you, let you give your opening statement, and introduce who you brought here with you.
Good morning. I appreciate you guys having us this morning. Big shout out to First Community for hosting this event, and of course Miller Media, Big Miller Media. To my left here, I have a 3-year starter on the offensive line. This is Cole Vaughn. We flip our offensive line strong and quick, and he's our quick guard. He does a lot of pulling for us. Over here, we have Corbin Foster. Corbin, he would be a 2-year starter, but he had an unfortunate mishap at our summer finale. They take a trip to St. Louis. We take a trip to St. Louis every summer, and unfortunately he broke his foot and missed most of the season. But I know he's excited to come back and play corner for us and some receiver. And then on the far side, we have Trey Allen. Trey is actually a 4-year starter. He moved up as a 9th grader and started at corner. And then from that point on, he has been QB1. Trey's an interesting type of quarterback. I've seen some different ones throughout my career, whether they be on our team or me defending them. And Trey's kind of like a young Baker Mayfield. He's real fiery, real competitive. One of good buddy of mine, one of my other coaches, we used to coach together at Lake Hamilton. Coach Natsky, we had a couple guys come through there, a couple linebackers, the Clinty brothers, Isaiah and Isaac, and we always used to say, if we got stuck in a dark alley, that we would want those guys to be with us, and that's how Trey is. You want that guy on your side. As far as our team goes, Southside has averaged 11 wins over the past 3 seasons. They've had a lot of success, and that is a big credit to Coach Kenny Simpson and the work that he's put in from early on, and then, of course, since he's been back since 2022. This team has 18 seniors and a lot of contributors. These guys have 23 wins in their career, and then Trey, of course, because he's a 4-year starter, has 33 under his belt, which is great for a quarterback to have all that experience. Offensively, we've got 7 returning starters. 4 of those come from the offensive line. Cole's one of those, of course. We also have Chase Corser, who's going to move from tight end to quick tackle for us. He's tall and athletic. Braylon Bridgman, he's pushing 300 pounds. He's our big, strong tackle. We use him to block down often for the buck sweep. And so we're real excited about some of those guys. Defensively, we only have 4 returning starters, but the defensive coordinator, my counterpart, Coach Garrett Denton, he does a phenomenal job. Just a year ago, they gave up 12 points a game and had almost 40 takeaways, which is pretty impressive. So we're excited about this year. Looking forward to it.
So, Coach, obviously, 3rd OC in as many years now. Reasons behind that. We've seen the coaching carousel as it's continued to move this year. We have a lot of new head coaches in here this year. But talk about the trying to bring the stability into that offensive room.
Well, it's a pretty unique situation. I've actually coached defense for the past decade at Lake Hamilton. And so when Coach Simpson had some turnover happening, of course, we know Price Holmes. He was here at Southside and then went to go be the head coach at Greene County Tech. Really, really good coach. Someone I've befriended throughout this process. Very, very sharp mind when it comes to strength and conditioning, and he's going to do a great job there at Greene County Tech. But when Coach called me, a little bit of a unique situation because I've only coached defense, but the background about it all is that, Coach Simpson runs the gun tee offense, which is rooted in the wing tee, and my dad, Tommy Gillerin, has ran the wing tee for the last 25 years, and he's ran it very well. And so I'm very familiar with the schemes, and it's, the stability is there. They averaged almost 40 points a game last year, and if I'm going to do anything this year, it's going to be to try to just hone in Trey's fiery competitiveness and maybe just add a few wrinkles here and there.
All right, Coach, this one's more for the players. I want to talk to you guys about, Coach mentioned it a few minutes ago in terms of the averaging 11 wins over the last 3 years. 10 wins a couple years ago, 13 in a conference championship 2 years ago, 10 last year, had a couple losses, close losses. What have you guys individually been working on over the offseason to really take that next step and make it to War Memorial in the fall?
So for me, obviously I've
played 4 years, and as I've progressed every year, I've been looking forward and more improving my leadership skills and just working on making faster reads to make the game go a lot slower.
I think as a team, we're really honing in on like the little things that we need to work on better. And that's what we've really been focusing on this offseason, is just the little things.
As a team, we focus on doing the little things because the little things add up all the time. But for me being a guard and pulling all the time, I'm working on keeping my eyes inside and finding those linebackers.
Coach, just talk about the players that you weren't able to bring today. I mean, who is some players that you expect to have a big season, and who's really been stepping up this offseason?
Well, I mentioned a few of them earlier, but I'll go ahead and repeat their name because I think they deserve it. You know, Chase Courser's not here today because he's actually at a church camp, which we have great respect for. But he's athletic enough to play tight end. He played tight end all last year. So he's moving to quick tackle. He's put on some weight. But he's a really, really good offensive lineman. In fact, we feel really good about our unit as a whole with 4 of those guys coming back. Another one, Max Lee's actually returned to us. He was here in junior high and then had a short stint away. His family moved back to our area, and we're looking at him being the tight end. Max actually reminds me of somebody we had last year at Lake Hamilton by the name of David Dalton, where he is very strong, very powerful. He's got some pop to him. Aiden Rodriguez comes back as the wing. He was a starter for us last year. He'll be a junior. He's pushing almost 200 pounds. He's a deceptively good runner with the ball in his hands, but he's a really good blocker, and he's going to play some defense as well. Carson McSpadden is another one. He started as a sophomore last year. He had over 100 tackles at safety, all-conference player, and he'll be coming back to contribute a little bit more on offense, whether that be at receiver or from the backfield, or maybe even taking some snaps directly in some Wildcat packages.
Coach, you mentioned earlier having a quick and a strong offensive line, right? And you rotate. These guys rotate. Very unique, right? You don't see it a lot. Bobby Petrino kind of brought that to the forefront probably 15, 20 years ago as switching offensive lines left to right, quick and strong. Do you mind, without revealing, secrets or details, go into that and give us a little more of that in detail and how that's advantageous for you guys? Because I'm sure most people aren't familiar with that type of an offensive line to flip them back and forth.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'd love to. In fact, I think there was a special done on Vanderbilt. They actually talked about their offensive line doing that, and that's pretty unique, especially in big-time college football. But yeah, we do it strong and a quick, and there's a few reasons why. I think one of the first ones is that you can really hone in on a kid's specialty, right? If a kid is really good at certain techniques, then you can keep him in a position to do those techniques most of the time. For instance, Cole moves really, really well for an offensive lineman. And so for him to play quick guard and always be pulling and wrapping, no matter which way we're running that play, left or right, we want him to be able to do that because he's the best man for the job. The other thing, too, is that it minimizes on how much the kids need to learn. Okay? Now I don't have to learn, 2 different things for a couple different plays. I just need to know what I do on this play, and if we're going to go to the right, I'm going to do that. And then when we flip, we're going to the left, I'm still doing the same technique. And so we think that allows our guys to have confidence in what they're doing. They know it a little bit better, and then they don't ever have to second-guess themselves.
Coach, you come from a coaching background. Of course, your father was a long-time coach. What have you learned from him that you're going to implement here at Southside?
Oh man, there's so many things. Man, my dad, he's a special human. I don't know how many people know this. They did a special several years ago, but I was one of his players, and he adopted me, and I had my name changed to Gillerin, and so that means the world to me to be able to follow in his footsteps. And coach football and make an impact on young people the same way that he made an impact on me is special. Also, having a Gillerin in the family to continue to run the buck sweep is a big deal as well. But things I'll take from him, the number one thing is to always honor God, always put him first. No matter what microphone or what camera you're in front of, to never be ashamed of the Lord and to do things right. He was never going to waver in his career on doing the right thing. And that's it. I think that's important for young kids to see because there's so much pressure from the outside world nowadays to make it all about you. We live in a society that's naturally very, very selfish. And so one of the reasons why I think sports is so important is because it puts you in a position to think of something outside of yourself. You're thinking about the common good, what's best for the team. And my dad always preached that. And I will do that until I can't coach anymore.
So just kind of talking about the defense a little bit now, you guys allowed only 13.6 points last season. How important and how much of an emphasis have you guys put on that during this offseason to maybe keep that same number or lower it down just a little bit more so you guys are truly unstoppable?
Well, like I said, Coach Garrett Denton, he does a phenomenal job with those guys. I think he's entering his 8th season as the DC. They run a 3-4 scheme, and they're very multiple in the amount of stunts and different coverages that they can do. But I think that the key is to really try to get the right guys in the right spots, and that's what the summer's about, especially when you only return 4 guys. You're really trying to figure out how the pieces work in the puzzle, how to get that puzzle corrected. And so we do that by making sure we go to the maximum amount of team camps that we can so we can see these guys play live in action, see if they can do certain tasks that we're asking them to do. We actually made a shift going into the last team camp, and I don't know that we gave up a touchdown that whole day. And so I think we're starting to get it figured out. And like I said, a lot of that has to do with Coach Denton. He's very, very sharp, and these guys are in really good hands with him.
So I want to follow up on that and more for the players, specifically Corbin, because I saw you correcting Coach there. That you did give up 1 touchdown. So obviously you take it serious, and you know what's going on out there. Obviously, Coach has sent you here as a leader on that defensive side of the ball, and it seems like in knowing Southside, that side of the ball is what builds this program and what you guys feed off of. Talk about being a leader on the defensive side. Also talk a little bit about the rehab process, coming back from that injury and now hopefully being 100%.
Yeah, so last year I was supposed to come back for, I think it was week 5 of Batesville, and then they just kept postponing when I could actually come back. And I eventually ended up I did eventually end up coming back, but I didn't really get to play or see the field as much as I had wanted. But this year we're coming back. I don't really see myself as the only leader on the defensive side. We got Carson at safety. He's a strong leader. Houston on the D-line. He's a really big impact leader. Gentry's a really good leader at the middle linebacker position. I think all around, we have a bunch of good defensive leaders and players. I think we're going to be really strong this year.
Just for the players, you guys play 2 games on a Thursday this season. Looking at your schedule, what games or game do you have circled on your calendar that you guys are excited to play starting down here and moving out?
And we understand that there's one game that's not on the schedule.
The first game that I'd like to talk about is Gosnell because we lost to them last year. It was a really good game last year. They're a really good team, and the second one is Jacksonville. They're a really good team. We played them in team camp already. They've got a solid defense and a really good running back. We'd like to face them.
Yeah, it would be nice to beat Gosnell this year, get the conference championship back under our belts. If we see Elkins again, I think we owe them one. I think it'll be another really good game. It was a fun one. And, yeah.
The game I most look forward to is Elkins since they sent us home. And, that game hasn't left my mind since the day we lost.
Kind of talking about a little bit of fun stuff now before we let you guys go. What's your favorite pregame meal, and what do you like listening to before the game to get yourself locked in? We'll start down here, work our way out, and then Coach will come to you.
So I'm a candy guy. I really like what do I call them? I'm forgetting. Strawberry gum clusters, or whatever you call them. But and artist I really like to listen to is Drake. He kind of gets me pumped up before a game. Get some jumping jacks in.
Yeah, I like sushi before a game. It's not terrible. Yeah, I like the day before. You know what I mean? Not the day of. The day of, I'll probably give me like an All-American from Subway or something. And then pre-game, I like to bang me some Michael Jackson. A little bit of better on my way to Chicago. You know what I mean? Yeah.
As you can tell, Favorite thing to eat? Everything, honestly. And my favorite thing to listen to before game, it's not really a song, but it's a movie, actually. You know The Lion King? I love it whenever they race Simba up. I'll be listening to that all the time before games.
How about the Circle of Life?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, are you going to have Coach lift you up before the first home game and do the Circle of Life?
I'll let our offensive line coach Aaron Denton do that. he can have a little bit of fun with it.
Coach, what about you? What do you pregame eat before the game, or maybe the night before the game, and what are you listening to lock in?
Man, pregame meal. I guess just something light. You know, I feel, you know, one of the reasons I coach football is because I loved it so much as a player, and so I still get a little bit of butterflies, which I think everybody who loves football does. But probably something light, just whatever they're serving. I'm probably gonna, you know, not go too hard on it. Pre-game music, I'm kind of older school a little bit, maybe like the Rocky soundtrack, something in those regards. Yeah,
mesh them together. Well, Coach, thank you so much for bringing your players out. Best of luck this season.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, next up, Coach Tim Rogers and the Fordyce Red Bugs. Welcome, Coach. I'll let you give your opening statement, introduce who you brought, and tell us about your team.
Thank you. I'm glad y'all invited us up here. Main thing, I guess, Fordyce, we start out, I thank the Lord every day. I get to coach and teach and work in Fordyce, and, it's a great place as far as football, great job, family, football, everything here in Fordyce, and I've been there since 1985, been there 42 years, raised my family, got grandkids in the school. Most of these players, all four of these players right here, I've coached 1, 2, 3. I coached 3 of their dads, and it's just a great place for football here in the state of Arkansas. And over the last few years, as far as this group of seniors and some of the players we have here, last 2 years we've been 26-3, which is almost 3 football seasons. We've been that far in the playoffs and went to the finals last year. This group that we have right here, they were back-to-back district champs in high school last 2 years. Out of the last 7 years, we've been to the state final 4 times. You know, a lot of people kind of forget about that. And we've been district champs 4 times out of the last 7 years. Since these young men have been in the football program, they won a district championship every year, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. And hopefully they can do it their senior year too. And we got 12 seniors, 34 players on the team this year. And hopefully, you know, in the summer it's hard to get everybody there every day. But hopefully once school starts, we can get everybody there all the time and, you know, get things worked out there. And coaching-wise, I have one of the greatest coaching staffs in the state of Arkansas. Half our coaches work for free. And the time they put in, we're on a 10-month contract, but they're there all summer long. And I appreciate them more than anybody can ever imagine, because I get paid to be there and most of them don't. And they're there just as many hours as I am. And you got to love Fordyce, you got to love football, and you got to love the kids to put in the time that they do. And most of them don't get paid to do that. And I appreciate that more than anything else in the world. And I have some great coaches to work with.
Coach, that really speaks to, of course, the community support. And obviously, the Red Bugs, that's a mascot just about everybody seems to know now. If you haven't heard of them, then where you been? Because it is a name across the state. But excited to see what you guys are going to bring to the table this year. I want to talk about your offense first. Obviously, you got some big pieces in your offense. You got a young man in Michael Gamble with an offer from Arkansas. You got a 4-year starter at quarterback. Talk about your offense.
Offense, I guess we start at the top. I know our quarterback, we moved him up as a 9th grader and made it all the way to the semifinals. Then last year as a 10th grader, made it all the way to the state finals. And, you know, as him as a starter, I think he's 25-1 as a starter in high school. A couple other games we lost, he didn't get to play those games. But, you know, and we're counting on just getting better each year with him. Our leading receiver, our leading running back, Jamartez Stroud is back as receiver. Micah Gamble back as our running back. And those 3 guys, you know, we're kind of going to depend on them a lot this year on offense. Bryant Robinson, which is one of our linemen, and that's another good thing. He's played guard. We moved him to center last year. We got him at tackle right there this year. And I know one thing as far as offensive line, we lost 3 All-State players last year on the offense and defensive line. And him and Tashumbi Ledbetter are the 2 seniors that we got that are really starting this year. And they're going to have to step up and because we got, you know, a lot of young guys that are going to have to play some. And I know Bryant is, like I said, he's going to have to learn all the spots because I know he's had to fill in at center this summer, tackle, guard. And as far as that up front, those are the guys that's probably going to be the ones we're going to count on more than anybody else.
Brian, I kind of want to single you out and talk to you first. How important is it for you as an offensive lineman to do all the dirty work so that Gamble and all your offensive skilled guys can keep their jerseys clean and not have any grass stains?
I mean, it really means a lot. It's just, it's kind of like checkers. You just got to make the right plays. That's how offense is. And with them running behind me, it just makes you feel like you carry them on your back.
Kind of want to still piggyback off that. So have you ever been in the locker room and you told them hey, if you guys don't do your job, I'm just not going to block for you and ruin your season, ruin your stats? Have you ever done that, or are you just kind of keeping it modest?
Well, I actually think I've done it at halftime. When he called me out, or he called out the O-line, I said that I got to do my job, and sometimes it may not get done perfect, but you just got to make what you can out of it. So.
Kind of just talking to all the players, start down here, walk our way to the right. What does it mean to be a Fordyce Redbug? I mean, like, as Steve said earlier, if you don't know who Fordyce is and what their legacy is, where have you been for the last however many years? So what does it mean to you guys as players to be high school students and to continue that legacy as a Redbug?
It means a lot because Fordyce is a very football-oriented town. and everything they do is mainly about football. Because on Friday, shoot, you can basically rob somebody's house because they at the football game. So I mean, that's what I like about it.
Well, it means a lot to be a Redbug. And over the state of Arkansas, it's only one team that's a Redbug, and I'm proud to be a part of it. And the environment of the town is just a lot, and nobody else has a great environment like we do. And I'm glad to be a part of it.
There's a saying that goes around Fordyce, and it's once a Redbug, always a Redbug. And I mean, everybody that's been through the program will know and feel that. It's just always been something special, especially to play football for the Fordyce Redbugs. And I mean, the environment there is just something that you won't ever get anywhere else, really.
Being a Fordyce Redbug means a lot to me because it's where I've been born and raised. I mean, it ain't nothing like being a Fordyce Redbug. Everybody else, they got the same names. Everybody got the same logos and everything, but you don't never walk around the Fordyce Redbug. We the only town where you can see that, and it's just a great community. Everybody can come together and actually be able to do stuff with each other. Like other communities, sometimes they'll like not be able to do things with each other, but our community can come together and do anything. So yeah, that's what it means to me.
I'm gonna ask players as well. We'll start down here on this right end, but just talk about you look at the last 2 seasons, back-to-back conference championships. You guys have had 13 wins each of those years, come up just short last year for a state championship. What are you guys working on individually to take this team to the next level, get over that hump, and get that state championship?
So when you look at our team, we have lost a lot of seniors, and the big pieces there on the D line, cornerbacks, line, and those are your biggest positions that you need on the field at all times. So when you just got to bring the younger players, and then you got to fill in spots as seniors and juniors to be able to raise that to overcome that level. So you just want to go hard at practice every day. You know, we don't take no slack. We want everybody there, and we want everybody to work hard every single day. So when we do that, it just make the team better, and it make the workload will have to not be on everybody else.
I'm gonna be honest. We're not the biggest up front, so really what we work on is to do things right, get our fundamentals perfect, and just to be physical and tough. Because we really don't have that many subs either, so we just gotta do what we can with what we got.
Things I work on individually wise to make our team better. To do what I can do without the ball as much as I can with the ball. Because most of the time we play teams, I mean, I do get looked at a lot, so I want my teammates to do what they can do best. And if that's by me not getting the ball, then it is what it is. As long as we win, then I'm good with that.
What I want to do is, like, we lost a lot of people on our defense, so we're going to have to lock in on our defense more, you know what I'm saying, get more technically sound so we don't give out touchdowns like community service events be giving out food.
Mike, I'll come back to you real quick. In this day and age of kids transferring everywhere, going all over the place, you got to go to the big school to get noticed, you know, that kind of stuff. What do you say to that as a guy that's got multiple D1 offers right now at the running back spot? You know, obviously an offer from Arkansas, but you know, what do you say to that, and B, you know, what makes you special as a running back?
Well, what I say to that is, if you ball, they definitely gonna call. So it don't really matter about where you playing. If you show that you got talent and that you got potential, they gonna find you. So I mean, that's what I gotta say. What was the second question?
What makes you special as a running back?
What makes me special is I'm dynamic. I'm not just a power running back. I'm not just a shifty runner. I can do everything. So you just can't say that I'm just gonna run you over, because that's not what I'm just gonna do. I can juke you out and run you over.
Coach, you've been there for a minute now down there in Fordyce. If you had to build your all-time Fordyce team, who's it looking like?
I've been here more than a minute. I've been here an hour. I've been here an hour. I know, yes, I've been here 42 years, and I look back over the time and the people that I've coached and had a part in their life and stuff like that right there. And I think back, I know I've coached or been a part of 2 guys that went to the NFL. I know Kevin Williams played for the Minnesota Vikings, and Rayleigh Johnson played for San Diego Chargers. Those 2 guys are 2 guys that I can remember that they had a motor, and you could tell there was something special about them. And those two guys, I remember them. I guess quarterback-wise, I guess Clark Watkins would probably be the one I remember more than anything. As far, we won it in 90 and 91 with him, and I can remember when he was in junior high, you could just tell he just had that edge, and he went and played at Arkansas State. Running back-wise, I know Contrell Rogers went and played at UCA, and I think he still has some records there, and he was one of those guys that just, you could always tell he was something special. Jaquez Cross, which went to Purdue, and on the years that we won state championship in 19 and 20, he was one of the running backs there. And I know D-line and offensive linemen and stuff like that right there, we haven't had very many go to the next level, but I know Gary Lewis, who played on 19 and 20 on state championship years, he's one of those special kids that, you just look back and, I see him every now and then and just see, I guess, to see how ripped and big and strong that he is. Those kind of guys, you remember them because you remember them in high school, how hard they worked and put the time in. And I guess kids like Toby Nutt and Tom Russell, those guys that I remember back from the 90s that went through there and played. I'm trying to think of somebody else as far as the kids that were up front. I can't think any right now, but I know we've had some good players, and that's the thing about Fordyce as far as the tradition. We don't have a lot of kids that are just stand out. We have a lot of team players that do things. Like Bryant Robinson, from the time he's got in the program, we moved him to different positions from guard to center to tackle. You have to have kids like that to come in and help out your program all the way through. And then you talk about the tradition and stuff that we have there at Fordyce. His great-great-uncle is Paul Bear Bryant, and last year we had Nate Bryant, who graduated, who was kin to him, and we got some other kids that are, you look through the history and the tradition and stuff that we have there at Fordyce. That's the part that I love about it. And when Junior, Cadillac, whatever I call him, a lot of different names, but he talked about once a red bug, always a red bug. I want people to remember that, and I want people to do that. We got lots of people that leave and go to other schools and stuff. I love these kids and I love their families because they stayed in Fordyce. They want to be a red bug. And like Micah said, if you're a player, they'll come find you if you're a player. And we got 4 players up here right now, and people will come watch you play. You can play. And that's one of the good things about coaching and teaching and playing here at Fordyce. And, if you win, people want to see winners, and they'll come watch you play. And that's what you see here. There have been people, they get offers because, you're winning football games, and people want to see what you're doing to win ball games.
Kind of want to piggyback off that for just a moment. How have you, as a program builder at Fordyce, seen the high school football game evolve? Of course, we could talk about players leaving and coaches leaving, but how have you, in your own personal experience, seen Fordyce grow from what you took it as when you first got there to where it is now?
Okay, well, I'm old, and that's still, we still run some of the plays, and what we do, we still run plays that we ran back in the 90s, 32 trap, 36G, we may call it different numbers, 48 double barrel. These kids, I know Junior's dad, we run the same plays when his dad was there. Brian's dad, when he was there, Nick, you can ask him, we still run 32, we run the traps. We're consistent on certain things. We run a lot of stuff out of wing and but I have changed a lot. We do go to a spread a lot more and get in different formations as far as shotgun and stuff. I guess if it was me, I would load up and run the ball 35, 40 times to Micah, but I know that we can do a lot of different things, and we got a quarterback that can throw it. We got a receiver that can catch and get down the field, and if you have that, you need to use it. And that's one thing that we have evolved over time is we've learned to distribute the ball to a lot of different people, get the ball to a lot of different receivers, running backs, because I know you look at stats sometimes, our stats are not very good. I mean, Micah probably just carried the ball just over 100 times last year. He had over 1,000 yards, but he didn't, then you look into other people have 200, 250 carries, and you sit there thinking, well, we got other guys that carry the ball. Receivers, sometimes we'll have receivers only catch 20, 30 balls, but they'll have 9 or 10 touchdowns and 800 or 900 yards. We throw it, and a lot of times when we throw the ball, we have big completions and stuff like that. I know during the ball game, there's a couple ball games, we didn't throw the ball very much because we didn't have to, but when we did, we had some long passes. I know one of the playoff games, we didn't throw it very much, but when we did, he made a big catch against, I think it was Boonville, and ended up helping us win the ball game.
So a couple fun ones while we finish up. Cadillac, I know you had a question for us. I'm going to let you ask that question real quick.
I'm going to ask y'all, and this for the people at home too. Do y'all like avocados?
On burgers, on everything, absolutely. Yeah, bring it on. So Cadillac, I love the name. I'm a nickname guy myself, man. It's maybe gotten me in trouble on some broadcasts. But I want to ask. You got almost 4,000. We were talking about stats, but you almost got 4,000 combined total yards just sitting right up here between what you've thrown for, what you've run for, what he's caught. So, what do you call your? Let's start with the backfield. Is there any name that you guys have given that backfield, or is there a name that you would give the backfield in combination of Cadillac and whatever we're going to call Mike over here?
We call him the Jet because you give him the ball, he getting out of there. And then J2, he always open. He just like 7-Eleven. Can't tame him. And then you bring all three of us, you just call that the Big Three because there's nothing you can do.
So what's the name for the trenches? Because those guys got to have something.
That's a Brian question right there.
What we got, Brian?
I really don't know. Just the workhorse, I guess. I mean, we're always. I mean, most of the time we stayed after practice and ran a little bit, and usually we just push each other to get better every day and more physical.
Could be the car carrier, obviously, carrying the Cadillac and the Jet over there. So
It's a good one.
All right, next I'm gonna start down here with you, Micah. Pre-game. What's your pre-game meal? What's your pre-game music?
I don't really eat before games because like I just can't. I'm just like my uncle. But music, people don't believe like I'm really a country guy. So I'll probably listen to some Luke Combs, probably some Treaty Oak Revival. You know what I mean?
My pregame meal is not really predictable. Normally it's McDonald's. I really like McDonald's, so I'll probably eat that before a game. Drink a sweet tea before a game, and that's probably why I cramp so much. But music-wise, I really listen to a lot of Big X the Plug and NBA YoungBoy and Mr. Cadillac over there. I think he knows because we listen to the same music.
Most definitely listen to Young Bo for the game for sure. Might slide some Big X up in there. Pre-game meal, whatever Quimby mom brings to the weight room, and every time she brings something, it's gonna feed everybody for sure.
Usually my pre-game meal is Taco Bell. It might sound a little rough. Yeah, you gotta get some carbs in there and some protein. That way you don't cramp up. And then after that, I'll go listen to some country music, like some Treaty Oak or something like that, with Micah usually. So whatever he listens to is what I listen to. So.
All right, Coach, we know you've got young boy bumping up there, right?
I don't even know. You can ask all them. I don't even know. I don't even know who that is.
Cut it down.
I guess the last band that I know of that I even think of, because I got an old whatever CD in my truck or something that my grandkids push in all the time, is KC and the Sunshine Band. I know. I don't know. That's the only thing I know. I'm old school, and I was raised before ball games. You want to be quiet, listen, think about all. That's where I've evolved. I changed. As long as I don't hear their music and they got the things on, I guess whatever they listen to is all right with me. But most of the time, I just sit around on the couch in the film room and just sit there and try to be quiet and think about what all we need to do, and go over and try to think of something that I haven't went over or something I forgot. and just make sure we got everybody there and make sure everything's ready to go before the ball game. That's the main thing. I'm not listening to anything before a ball game.
Anything you're eating? You like? It seems like the coach's diet is nothing.
Like what Junior said there, Quimby, Brooke Quimby, which kind of runs our booster club and does pregame meals and stuff for the football team. Whatever she brings, I know she calls them Cody burgers or something, which I don't ask what's in them. I just know they're good. Kids love them, and they eat them all up. So, but I know we've had that a lot of times for a pregame meal. But she does a great job getting us pregame meals.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. Appreciate you guys and the players coming up, and looking forward to seeing the Red Bugs back at one more.
Okay, thank you very much.
Arkansas Select Volleyball Club focuses on personal and athletic development of our student athletes and creates a safe, positive, and effective learning environment in which student athletes strive to achieve individual excellence within a team dynamic. We view the volleyball court as our classroom, transformed to teach lessons of character, discipline, respect, responsibility, accountability, commitment, leadership, work ethic, teamwork, courage, integrity, communication, the importance of sacrifice and sportsmanship, plus many other important values on and off the court. Search Arkansas Select Volleyball online or visit our Facebook page, Arkansas Select Volleyball, to find out more.